All right, so welcome to my channel. My name is Miles. I'm a full-time day trader, and in today's video, I'm planning to share with you the story of how I got into trading and kind of the things I've gone through to get to where I am today. And I'm not saying that my journey is complete, but I have gone through a lot, and the goal of this video is to try to motivate and inspire others as well to try to go after the things that they want, right? So, um, I want to share the story because I think it plays a big part in why I decided to actually start a YouTube video as well. And yeah, I hope that at the end of it, it might be a long rant. I'm kind of having a mix of having notes along with just going off the top of my head. There's not very much structure to it. I want it to be pretty authentic, and I want to try to share the most I can through this story here. So yeah, so back in August 2021, after kind of a few lockdowns that we've gone through with this whole COVID thing, the vaccine mandate became a thing. So at the time, I was selling cars at Honda. I was one of their top performers there. And at the time, that career provided me and my family with a very comfortable life financially. But my wife and I, we made that choice not to get vaccinated. And for me, to each their own. I don't care if you are or you aren't, but the issue with that I have is that everyone should have the freedom of choice to do whatever you feel comfortable with at the time. But we can go into that at another time. Like that's a story for another day. This video is gonna focus primarily on the journey that I'm in and I'm going through and I've gone through. Okay, so with the vaccine mandates, kind of like the rumors of the vaccine mandates and me hearing about that, I was trying to think proactively already, having conversations with people at work, like, hey, like if you couldn't do this job anymore, not wanting to have to go back to school and pay for an education, what type of career could you find that would basically have the same possibility of providing you that income, but with very little or no education needed. So that's kind of what I was looking for. I was thinking about doing things like Amazon drop shipping, even clipping together compilation videos of like whatever things for babies to sleep to and burning logs and stuff like that. Just hearing how, people can make money doing things like that, right? But that's not really something that I decided to go with. Um, Let me see here. So during that time, I it made me realize though that like no matter how skilled you are at your job, if you don't know how to make money for yourself, there's always going to be a possibility for financial instability in this current world that we're living in. And I was the type to not really want to rely on others. So figuring out how to make money for myself was something that I was truly, truly interested in. And I think that should be something everybody should be interested in. But so like a few months before that, one of my really good friends, he actually got into day trading as well. And we were both selling cars at Honda. And he left. He left, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, is that something stable that you can make money on a regular basis to say support your family, pay for a mortgage if you got a car? Like for me, I understood trading as more as like gambling and just if it works, it works, but there's no real strategy to it. But kind of seeing him gave me a little bit of confidence. So there was that, and it gave me that kind of planted the seed that this could be a possibility. but I'm not much of a gambler. Like I don't gamble at all. I don't go to the casino. I don't play cards. Like I don't play poker. I don't play VLTs. Like I work so hard for my money, right? Like you spend an hour to make what whatever. Like say you're making like $12 an hour, $15 an hour. Gambling, you could lose that in a few minutes, right? So I work too hard to lose money that fast. That's why I don't like gambling. So having that mindset when I started my journey in day trading back in uh early August, sorry, late August, early September, I really wanted to learn the technical side of it first before even trying to start making money in it. So at the time, I had no prior investing experience. I didn't even know what app to use or how to put money in investing. It was always something that was like super intimidating to me. I thought you had to have a lot of money to do it, and like people, when people would have conversations about investing around me, I would just stay quiet. Like it was just, I knew nothing about it, right? So yeah, that just kind of goes to show that like even if you don't know anything, you can learn it, right? So as I was learning the basics, I started pouring. The plan was while I'm learning, I know there's a possibility for me to lose my job, but I was still making money at the time. Um, every cent, every penny extra that I had, I was gonna start investing it into crypto because I know there's a possibility that, I was watching these videos like if you invested $1,000 January 2021, on this day you would have this, you would have that, you would have this. I was like, oh fuck, like $1,000 can turn into like $50,000. Like I'm gonna start pouring my money into this, and all I need is one coin to blow up, and I'll probably have a year's worth of income to support me in my journey as I'm trying to learn this new skill, right? Didn't happen that way. The markets are super down right now, and I've lost probably most of the money that I've invested in there, but it's not a realized loss until you sell. So, diamond hands right now, diamond hands, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Um, okay, so yeah, I started pouring money into that, trying to make a little nest egg for myself in hopes that I'd have some money to trade with when I was ready to quit. So now, come around October, management was noticing that I wasn't myself anymore. I wasn't that motivated guy that was just like pushing, pushing, pushing. It was just wasn't giving the same effort. I was distracted by these charts on my screen. So October, I felt like I was cheating my job, right? So I talked to my general manager. He allowed me to take a leave in November to get a taste of what day trading could be like full time. So I spent that month glued to the charts. I was watching the 1 minute time frame like a hawk, sometimes even falling asleep from staring at the screens for so long. My palms are sweaty, my pits were sweaty, my feet were sweaty, like everything, right? Like I was nervous, but it was something that I needed to experience, and I learned a lot from that experience. But the most I made in one day at the time was I made $800 in a day. I felt pumped, like I had that confidence, like yo, this is something I could do. And I came in to like I ended it that day when I made that $800 because I was really just focusing on $200 to $300 a day. $300 a day is $100,000 in a year. That was way more than enough for me to survive, and if I could maintain that even for a few years and continue to grow, that was enough for me, right? But yeah, the $800 was nice. I saw some potential there. I came back the next day feeling confident, and the very next day I lost $1,400. So everything I made plus more I lost. And in that month, I like through trying to trade, I lost $4,000 quickly. and I saw that if I continued in this path or direction, that I would lose all my savings, and that would leave me in a very bad position. So I knew I wasn't ready yet at the time, so I just went back to work. Going back to work, I felt really scarred from the markets. I couldn't even look at the apps. Like there was such a bad feeling that I had about the markets because it it was like a huge gut punch. Like I took such a huge loss there, and I just needed to step away from the charts. So at the time, I put my focus back on selling cars while I took a break from the charts. And at the time, I didn't give myself a timeline as to how long it would take. I just, when it felt right, I was just going to get back to it. Okay, so weeks go by, and I think it was maybe a week before Christmas. My family and I, well, I got it first, then I passed it on to my family. And we all got COVID, so I had to take 2 weeks off of work. So now like all this free time just landed on my lap. So while I was actually sick for maybe about a week, I was in bed, had fever, I just had no energy, had to sleep a lot. Um, During the times when I was awake, laying in bed, I tried to consume as much information as I could off of YouTube. And when I started feeling better, I started experimenting, trying the strategies that I was learning, and I started seeing a little bit of success here and there, but nothing consistent. So when the isolation period ended, I went back to work. We were having a crazy winter, and I slipped on ice. Like literally, what happened was, um, I I what was it? I think there was something going on. Like we had a party to go to on a Saturday, and every Saturday you have to work in car sales. Like that's the biggest day of the week in car sales. That's when most traffic comes in. That's when you could sell the most cars, right? So I had an appointment booked, and they told me they would call me when they were on their way, and they just showed up. So I had to rush to work. I was running into the office, and I slipped so hard. And one of my coworkers actually saw it. I'm pretty sure like it was like both feet in the air. I slammed on my back like so hard. Um, and yeah, so obviously I couldn't work. And so what happened? I had to take time off of work. So that gave me even more time. Like I had another, I think it was a week that I took off of work. I had to take a week off of work, go to the chiropractor every day, and just let my back heal. So I knew what I was gonna do with this time. Now I was given all this free time. I wasn't gonna let that go to waste just by sitting around at home doing nothing. I knew that there was a little bit of pressure for me to figure this out because I knew that these mandates were still a thing and that I wanted to figure out how to make money for myself, right? So I came back to the markets with that little bit of confidence that I gained through that little time of experience with the break that I had during when I had COVID. So I came back to the markets. I was smarter. I was more cautious because I understood what the markets were capable of if you were not cautious. So I was seeing progress, but still not enough to quit my job. But I felt very encouraged. I felt encouraged, and that gave me the motivation to push a little harder, right? So when I went back to work, I realized that if I wasn't ready to go full time, I could still do it part time. And so I'm doing my thing, really starting to see a little bit of progress, learning new things that were helping me. And what I figured out was the more I learned, the more I found out how much I actually didn't know. And that's the crazy part. Like, there's so much to know about trading, but yeah, like from strategies to psychology to risk management, literally everything. There's a lot to it. This is a business. You can't just go into it trying to make money without a plan. You have to plan everything. Everything has to come with a plan. You have to have the plan. If your trade is going well, what are you going to do? If your trade is going against you, what are you going to do? How are you going to grow your money safely when you have these feelings of emotions? Like everything has to come with a plan, but we'll go into that. This is just focusing on the story. So as I was learning, I was experimenting live on the charts. So as I was learning, I was experimenting live on the charts with real money, but at this time risking a lot less money. I was more focused on trying to gain knowledge through experience as opposed to really focusing on making money. But at the same time, I wanted to have that potential of, okay, I'm going to try to lose very little, but if I win a trade, at least I'm making money as well, right? So I feel like my time has not been wasted. Even if it's like $1 to $10, it's still gaining something from me doing and spending time doing this thing, right? So yeah, like that time was very meaningful. Like I think I learned a lot just through the experience, trying different things, but losing a little bit here and there, making a little bit here and there, right? So, but what I had implanted in my head that really helped me push through that time of that learning curve was I had it implanted in my head that taking an L didn't mean taking a loss, it meant taking a lesson. And when the same lesson was taught multiple times, like time after time after time, that means I didn't learn it well enough yet. I didn't pass that lesson. I needed to go through that course, that lesson again, and until I learned it and I stopped making that same mistake. And that goes into life as well, right? Life will throw the same challenges at you over and over and over until you know not to make those mistakes again, right? So and then so during this time, the car industry was experiencing a shortage of vehicles. There was a shortage of this chip and whatever that was causing delay in production. So we could sell the cars, but we couldn't get paid until the car arrived and the customer took the car home, right? So, and the customer took the car home, which could be like 4 to 6 months. And used cars were selling for more than new cars sometimes, if not the same price as a new car. So no one wanted a used car if they could get the same price for a new car, but they just had to wait a little bit, right? So for me, it didn't really feel good inside to push these products, even though I understood like supply and demand and the value of something goes up if there's less supply. I completely understood that, but it still didn't feel good to me because I was selling, yeah, anyways, like it just didn't feel good to me. So this sucked, and I wasn't interested in this type of environment, but I knew I needed the job still, right? So I let the sales come. I let the sales come when they may, but I wasn't forcing anything or giving the same type of effort I was known for, and management noticed that. But I would rather day trade. When I wasn't in front of a customer. Um, when I didn't have a customer in front of me, as there was a possible like I was day trading when there was no customers in front of me because the possibility to make money right then and there was there, right? As opposed to I'm gonna start cold calling customers, hey, are you interested in trading in your car? I got a car for you in 4 to 6 months. We can go over payments now. Like that didn't make sense to me, right? Like there's day trading right here. I could lose money right now, but I can make money right now. That's where I was. That's where my mind was at, right? Um, I was doing that, and gaining confidence, seeing progress here and there. And at the time, I was trying to consume education on YouTube. I was consuming all the as much information as I could get to try to learn as much as I could. So I was spending a lot of time on YouTube, right? I had my headphones in at work, one ear in, And if it wasn't trading, it was psychology, this and that. And I noticed that there's all these like horoscope stuff that started showing up. I'm a Scorpio, so there's all this Scorpio stuff that started showing up, popping up on my feed about like monthly, weekly, daily Scorpio success predictions. So whatever, like at the time, I thought, why not watch it? It might motivate me, it might inspire me, and I just started watching them because positive vibes, right? And as I started watching them, I guess YouTube algorithm noticed that and started showing me more. So I kept watching it. Like, okay, this is telling me nice things I want to hear. Why wouldn't I watch it, right? So these type of videos kept coming in every day, talking about future weeks to come, future months to come. This is kind of when I realized that like the universe might be directing me. It was like my my thoughts, my desires, my intentions were finally coming together, and the universe was laying the path there for me, kind of pushing me, throwing hints out at me, and it was now up to me whether I was gonna jump and take that leap or not, right? So it was one of those things that I realized if I didn't go for it, it could be something I could regret for the rest of my life. And I just had to see how far I could take this thing for myself. If I take all the things I've learned in life and applied it to this new thing, where could that take me? I needed to see, right? So I asked my job to lay me off, since there was no inventory anyways, but at the time they said they couldn't. And I think it was just a matter of them not wanting me to leave because obviously, um, someone that sells a lot of cars, they could use on the floor, right? But I talked to my wife and she was supportive of me. So come February, beginning of February, I told my boss that that was going to be my last month. And yeah, like I said, they didn't really try to make it that easy for me, but I completely understood. I understand how business goes, and I understand their side of it, but I also understood my side of it, and I knew what I wanted to do, and I just went for it, right? So, yeah, at the time they were training me to become a finance manager. I realized I didn't want to be that. I was already trained, I was already shadowing someone. I realized that wasn't the route for me. I wanted to be a sales manager because I wanted to inspire the team, I wanted to teach the team, I wanted to grow others to do what I've been able to do in the car sales industry. Um, and I knew that if I wanted to push hard, that general manager wasn't in the realm of impossibility if I wanted it. I knew that, but I saw that I looked I looked deeply reflecting into what that future could look like. And although financially it looked good, I knew that I didn't think I was going to be fully happy as a person. And realizing that was one of the things that helped me make that leap to go into day trading full time. Okay, so I took the leap. I told them I was gonna quit. That was my last month. It was very sad for me. Obviously with work life, these people you spend so much time with, right? They become your family. Most of the time, you spend more time with them than you do your real family. So it wasn't easy for me to leave either, but I felt like it was something that I had to do. So I had a plan. I had a plan, and that plan didn't really play out. But the plan was the little money I saved, like the money that I saved up, putting money into the markets, and then the extra money that I saved up by going back to work again. I also extended my line of credit by $10,000. I returned my CRV, which I had on lease. I made money selling it back to the dealership. I had some money put away in the investments, and I was going to try to qualify for employment insurance. Even though I quit my job and they weren't willing to lay me off, I was still going to try to qualify for employment insurance, which I did not qualify for. But either way, yeah. So I took the biggest leap of faith in my entire life at the time. I was ready to risk it all because I knew I was willing to put in the work, and it's worked for me before. I was a graphic designer for 8 years, um, having a comfortable income. I took a leap of faith to join a small company in Winnipeg to become their VP of marketing, and then I took another leap of faith to go into the car sales industry, and now it took another leap of faith going into day trading. And every time I took that leap of faith, it it actually was a good thing. Like something good came out of my life. So it benefited my life. I doubled up by taking that leap of faith. So I think having those experiences gave me the confidence of taking that leap of faith. And yeah, I just wanted to get at it. So even though I didn't feel I was fully ready and I wasn't fully set up to do it, I felt like I had to do it. I felt like I had to do it because the universe was directing me and I didn't want to fight it. I wanted to go with it, right? So so yeah, I was willing to risk it all. Um, I have a family, I have a mortgage, like holy shit. But I felt but it felt right. Like it felt like that could good kind of scary, and having the support of my wife helped out a lot too. Like I saw this mountain I had to climb and I was at the bottom, right? So I did what I always do when met with this type of challenge. Like I just go to work. I try to outwork everybody, right? Like if my skills weren't here yet and there's people here that I wanted to get to, I would I could be at that level if I outwork them until the skills outweigh, like once the skills start to develop, I could lay off the gas pedal a little bit and the work and the skill will start to balance out, right? So that's always been kind of my my strategy to anything that I needed to accomplish in life was just try to outwork everybody. And just because like if I had no control of the time it took to master the skill of trading, I knew I had control over how much work I put into trying to get there, right? So that was my focus. So all of March to now was a crazy time for me. There was moments of feeling every emotion, but I was persistent. I showed up to the market every day. When the market hit me, I kept getting up. I had a smile on my face because I was grateful. Like I was grateful for the opportunity that I had. Like even though I was losing money, I had money to give me an opportunity to try again the next day, right? And every L was a lesson, either a new one or an old one that I haven't passed yet. And I got better. I gained confidence. I started creating a system. When I took an L, I looked for things that was missing or things that I heard about and I didn't fully understand, going back to topics after topic after topic, things that I thought I knew. I tried to learn it even better. Things that I heard about that had no idea what this even meant. I tried to learn that topic to the fullest, right? So now this brings us now here to today. Today is May 11th, 2022. I feel like I finally learned enough to have the skill to become consistent and profitable. I have a trading strategy. I have psychological rules. I have a risk management strategy. I have a financial growth plan, which I plan on like all of this. I plan on sharing little by little on this YouTube channel with my subscribers, and I feel complete. but I'm not done, if that makes sense. Like I've learned so much about myself, about life, about business, and I've grown so much as a person in this short amount of time. Like this is just the beginning, but um now it's just a matter of getting those reps in, right? And that goes with like the game 7 mentality, like harness that energy, the confidence, the eliminating self-doubt, all of that. That's that game 7. Like if you understand game 7, it's win or lose, right? So how do you prepare for game 7? If you know, if you lose, you're going home. If you win, you win, right? So that's the mentality I'm trying to focus on. That's the mentality that I've created for myself because my back is up against the wall, right? So yeah, that's my journey. I hope it wasn't boring. I don't know, like I'm new to this whole YouTube thing. I'm new to this talking to a camera thing for a long period of time. So let me know what you think. Comment down below if you have any questions. Would love to hear from it. If you have any sort of whatever, right? Tips to how you can help, how I can help, how whatever. I want to hear your stories as well, right? So if you like to hit that like, whatever, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.